those days. I've had a few of them, but none like today. I mean, I was watching the kids play out front and I lost track of time. Then I realized that the sun was going down. Hello, Sabbath, and I hadn't even made the bread yet. Some days are just like that. Like yesterday, for example. As if it's not enough to have all these tourists in town. I know, it's good for business. Why, my husband's cousin Joshua works at the exchange office at the temple. And he said there's been consistently 30 to 35 people in every one of the lines. Every day. Well, that's fine, but it just makes everything so complicated. The crowds, the dirt, the lines at the market, it's just all too much. No, during Pentecost, I usually just try to stay at home. We only go out when we have to. But, you know, on the day itself, well, you have to get out. You know, it's an important day. So we did. And a funny thing happened on the way to the temple. It was a strange Pentecost to begin with. Not because of the tourists and the crowds. They're around every year. And not because of family in town. It was because a few weeks ago there was this incident. Now, I don't know a lot about it, but I heard from the baker's wife, you know, the one down the street, the one, she makes the best bread in all Jerusalem. Anyway, she was telling me about some uproar surrounding this rabbi in town. You probably know him. Everybody knows him. Jesus? Yeah, that's him. Well, apparently, he finally made the wrong person mad. And it was just awful. He was beaten in the streets. And then, what they did to him on the cross, it was awful. So that happened around Passover. And it just made a feeling of, I don't know, a dark cloud hanging all around the city. Everything was just a little off, you know. Anyway, back to the other day. So there we were, wedged like sardines in the streets, when suddenly there was this uproar up ahead. The kids went scampering in all directions, which I'll admit, it made me lose my cool. So I'm pushing my way through the crowds and I'm trying to wrangle these kids back to me, when suddenly I find myself close to the front. And there was this gap in the crowd, and there was Joshua and Anna, and they were giggling as they looked at something up ahead. And so I grabbed their little hands, and I guess I grabbed a little too hard, but anyway, I started to pull them back. But then I got curious. And I wanted to know what was making them laugh. So I looked at the square. And I saw a pack of mad fools. They were spilling all around. There were some of them actually running in circles. They were yelling at the top of their lungs, and I couldn't tell what they were saying. They weren't even speaking a language that I knew. I didn't understand. You know, maybe Persian? I even think I caught a little Syrian in there. You know, I once had a cousin in Persia. She was a lovely lady, a little rough on the edges, but she was always fun at the parties. Anyway, it was all very confusing. They were talking about Jesus. Now, I had heard the rumors. Everybody had. But frankly, it sounded so ridiculous. You know, the rumor was that he had risen from the dead. I mean, honestly. But still, there were these men, and they were openly and brazenly saying the same things. The one known as Peter, well, he said that whosoever calls on the name of the Lord shall be saved. And hadn't really told anybody this, but I feel something in my heart, I guess. And I had to wonder, what does all this mean? But I had places to go, and I had things to do, and I had lines to wait in, and it was just rumors, right? But still, I just have to wonder. You know, someone told me that 3,000 people professed Christ as Savior that day, and they were publicly baptized. Why would anybody place their faith in someone that had died on a cross? Unless he was who he said he was. That's it. He was who he said he was. So what are you waiting for? Live your mission.